Okay, so here we are at week 2. And what do I have to say this time? Well, it's very simple, really. This is the most adorable Sinestro toy you will ever own. I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I'm beginning to suspect I might just end up buying one of these Scribblenauts figurines every time I go in now. Every time I go in for my weekly dose of Batman Eternal, I might just have to grab one of these guys. I've now got Green Lantern Sinestro and Green Lantern Maxwell. So if I can get their fists out just a little bit, I can make a fight. Yeah. Yeah. Neither of these are characters who are the first to come to my mind when I think of Green Lantern. No, not at all. We're talking about issue 2 of Batman Eternal this week. Another really damn good cover, actually. This is very grim, but I really like it. That's a good cover for your second issue. Okay, so what happened? What do I have to talk about? Slight addendum to what I had said last time. Gordon, upon reviewing the comic again, Gordon did not actually shoot a thing that would switch the tracks. He shot the thing that would prevent the tracks from switching. So, like, he basically shot a fuse box and killed all the power to the tracks, which kept them from switching. And okay, I don't really know how trains work, so I'm gonna give that one a pass. But it's a little ridiculous. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it a week later, yeah, that's a little silly, but it's nothing too bad. It's all right. Not a big deal. I mean, it got us to where we needed to be. It got us to, putting Gordon behind bars, which remains a rather terrifying prospect. They were trying to put the death toll together, and they never said what it was. So, that's annoying. Anyone in the comments want to do the math on 2 subway cars full of people? Tell me your rough estimation of how many people are dead. That's unpleasant. So, what happened this issue? There was a lot of bouncing around, actually. It was kind of all over the place, which, that's fine by me. I mean, that's part of the draw of doing this for an entire year, is you get a lot of space to bounce around with. And there's plenty to do. So, like, Gotham Gazette showed up for the first time in the New 52, to my understanding. I don't actually know that for fact, but I read it online that the Gotham Gazette has not shown up. Vicky Vale showed up for the first time. I'm cool with that. I like Vicky Vale a lot. She's maybe my favorite of Batman's love interests, perhaps because she's one of the more normal ones. But I do like Vicky Vale, and she's working with a guy. His first name is Mario, and he's kind of ascending through the ranks of the Gazette, and he's been writing papers on the Joker and his crime sprees and all of that, so I'll be interested to see where that goes. I understand, like, he was one of the things they teased, that we were gonna have a character who was investigating the Joker and was going to slowly get really paranoid about it. So I look forward to seeing how that's gonna get fulfilled. That was nice. We saw, like, we got to see everyone's reaction to the train car accident. The train car accident was really a focal point here. So we saw, like, Barbara's reaction. It's so weird to think that she's Batgirl again. I'm so not used to thinking. Barbara Gordon has never been Batgirl in the comics in my lifetime. And then again, she was on the TV show, and I watched a lot more of that than I did read comics. But still, I am so used to the thought of Oracle that thinking about Barbara Gordon as Batgirl for me is still really, really kind of weird. But alright, so Barbara Gordon caught wind. She's naturally freaked out. I hope we see more of that, because, I mean, that is her dad. So, I mean, I hope we see more of that. Try to just come out a little bit there, so just adjusting it. The Red Hood heard about it from Hong Kong. I'm not sure what Jason Todd is doing in Hong Kong, but I'm not reading his series right now, so I don't know. What's his name? Oh yeah. Tim Drake heard about it, and he's heading back to Gotham so he can be here for this series. I did hear that Teen Titans is going to get a relaunch in April with a slightly more traditional roster, but Tim's still going to lead. And a few other things that I don't really remember a lot of the details. Like, I think Beast Boy is on the roster. I think Raven's on the roster, but I think those are the two major additions. I don't know. I haven't been reading New 52 Teen Titans, so couldn't tell you. But my prediction about Dick Grayson was not true. Dick is getting his own series, though, and it sounds like it's just going to be called Grayson, and he's going to be like a secret agent or something, so I'm cool with that. Maybe, perhaps not the first place I would have gone after retiring Nightwing, but you know what? Dick's still alive. He's still got plenty of stuff to do. He's going to kind of be a super spy of some kind. I'm cool with that. That sounds like fun. I like that idea. So back to Batman Eternal. Everyone's initial reactions. Batman goes to visit Gordon. Wally's locked up. No trial yet, so they haven't officially taken his badge away or anything yet, but he is suspended and he is in jail right now, and Batman says he knows some foul play was involved. And Gordon, in a really good scene, says, I think you forget sometimes that I'm just a man. I think you forget that I, too, am human and that I make mistakes. And even if this is a gigantic mistake that no one should ever have to make, maybe I made it. And Batman doesn't buy into that. But that's a very, very humanistic notion that Gordon has. And I liked that. I liked that a lot. And I'll be very curious to see where that goes. There was a brief little interlude where we saw Dr. Phosphorus and a reference to Blackfire. Now, I didn't look this up beforehand, but the only Blackfire in DC I know of is Starfire's sister. I'm sure that's not the Blackfire we're talking about here, but Phosphorus was appealing to some specter of some kind named Blackfire, and I don't know who it was or anything like that, but that happened, I guess. They were kind of teasing that a fairly prominent Batman villain was going to make his big return post New 52 here. And I was kind of, when I got to Dr. Phosphorus' page, I was like, is that who you meant? Is the big deal that we got Dr. Phosphorus back? Dr. Phosphorus' greatest contribution to comic books was being the visual inspiration for Blight. That's it. He's not a very good character. He's not a very good villain. To the point that they started banking on the Blight name more than they banked on his. I got an issue of Batgirl around here where he is introduced by another villain as the Baron of Blight, Dr. Phosphorus. His legacy is a lot stronger than he is. I don't know where that's going to go. Jim Coogan was in here. The Spectre, Jim Coogan was in here, and that surprised me. That I did not see coming, but I recognize Jim, and I recognize his powers and his way of speaking, and you can see his shadow. He casts a Spectre shadow, as it were, so you can really clearly tell it's him. I mean, I don't know. You can kind of see there. It's very interesting. And he's saying, there's something far more evil afoot here than a simple train crash. There's something far more sinister on our hands, and when the Spectre says it, yeah, you better take him pretty seriously. I'm a Spectre fan. I like the Spectre. He's pretty damn intimidating as far as good guys in DC go. He's pretty well written. He is literally the spirit of God's vengeance. And when God's vengeance is saying, there's something truly evil afoot here, you better pay attention. I mean, I think I've said somewhere in the past that I'm a really big Kingdom Come fan, and he's one of the main characters in Kingdom Come, and for good reason. Just that, the fact that he's going to be our bearer of bad news here, holy crap. That tells me we've got something truly catastrophic coming. And I know we already saw that in the first issue with the end, but I am given all the more reason to believe this is going to be really damn interesting. And then it's intercut throughout the comic with the mayor of Gotham speaking to someone, a shady figure, you don't really see who he is for sure, who says basically, well, we're going to clean up Gotham of all the freaks and masks and costumes and everything, and we don't see who he is until the very end, and it's Carmine Falcone. And that's, certainly not the biggest bad guy you could have chosen, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Carmine Falcone having been behind. He was behind Professor Pig. He sent Professor Pig, which I find a little hard to believe. I mean, having done some more research on Professor Pig as a character, I find it rather hard to believe he could be controlled by a fairly average mobster like Carmine Falcone. But, maybe you just like, here's $1 billion. Go screw over Commissioner Gordon. Maybe that's what happened. And there's a part of me that really hopes it's like, something else went on, because I mean, if we're just trying to frame Gordon for a crime, it's like, really? We're gonna frame Gordon for killing hundreds of people, but we had to get this particular minion to this particular place in front of this particular power box. It could be shot at this particular time. That's really ridiculous. And okay, I like ridiculousness in comics. I don't like contrivances. I don't like it when it feels like, everything had to be forced in place for this to happen. It's like that scene in Skyfall when Bond is chasing Javier Bardem and they're going through the train systems, and Bardem Silva, whatever his name was, is like, I've memorized the train times, so please enjoy, Mr. Bond. I can't do a freaking voice. But he proceeds to bomb the line so that a train will come flying down and running at Bond. And it's like, what if that train had been late? What if it took those people a few more minutes to get that done? What if any number of other things happened? That's really, really a piss-poor excuse. So I hope a little something else like that happens, or we just kind of shuffle it away. Like, Gordon destroyed the tracks, but we don't need to constantly say, he destroyed the tracks by doing this, because doing this was a little stupid. Oh, boy. But Carmine Falcone was the catalyst thus far. I'm positive he's not going to be the main villain here. I mean, Falcone's too small time. He's a great beginning villain for Batman, but after year one, you get so many more bombastic and over-the-top villains and all that. And it's only issue 2, so I mean, obviously, I don't think they're going to reveal their mysterious, evil-speaking character from the very beginning in issue 2. Not when we've got 50 issues or some left. But, that was kind of cool. I'm happy to see that. I like the shifting viewpoints. Yeah, I'm really, really getting into it so far. And honestly, next week I'm probably going to get even more excited, because issue 3 is kind of the one I've been waiting on. Because, well, in a sentence, one of my favorite characters is going to be back next week. After disappearing in the relaunch, we're going to get one of my favorite characters back next week. That's been confirmed. And I look forward to seeing how she is handled. So until then, I will talk to you guys later on that. Be watching for some more Flashback, and thanks for watching.